What's up, guys? I just got back from a showing. This house was amazing. I think they're probably going to get like 14 offers. We're in a market right now that is an extreme seller's market. So you're competing against 10, 15 other buyers to get this property. How do you do it? How do you win? So I wanted to go over how you win contracts in an extreme seller's market. So we're just going to get right into it. Number one, you can't wait for an open house to see the property. You have to get in as soon as that property is listed in the first or second day on the market. Why? It's because we have to formulate a plan. You have to have a plan because the other people that have seen it and love it are already formulating their plan. If you wait for an open house to see it, contracts are due the next day. They could be due that day. You don't know. So you could be going into an open house and have contracts due Sunday at 5 p.m. How are you possibly going to get everything together in that time frame? So please get an agent. Make sure that you're seeing the properties the first or second day on the market, and then start formulating your plan. Do not wait for an open house. Number two, when we start getting into the details now we're writing the contract. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that your financing is top notch. Hey, I see that you're pre-approved. Great, good job. Okay, everybody's pre-approved when they're purchasing a property. I need you to get further. I need you to get approved for a certain amount. Make sure that if we write a contract at a certain amount, you know that you're getting that loan. Now, there's no 100% guarantee that you're definitely going to get the loan because the lender is going to be looking at your credit again, and they're going to be calling your work to make sure that you still have a job right before you close. So make sure that you don't screw up and buy any big purchases or anything, but you need to dial in that financing. It can't just be a pre-approval. It's got to go further than that. You have to go through that underwriting process almost and be ready to pull the trigger on any property that fits that price range. That's your advantage. You need to be able to waive the finance contingency. The people that are waiving that, they're going to win. Number two, I'm going to go away from finance a little bit into the home inspection. A lot of people are going to be scared to waive their home inspection. I get it. I would be too. That is why you get in the first few days and you do what's called a pre-inspection. So call the listing agent, have your agent call the listing agent and say, hey, are you allowing pre-inspections? The thing is, you're going to have to contend with all the showings that are happening at that time. So you're probably likely going to have to go really early in the morning or later at night to get that inspection done. So call the listing agent, make sure that they are allowing pre-inspections, get the inspector in there to at least go through the major components of that house. You might not care about the leaky faucet and things like that. That's not what we're looking for at this point. We're making sure that the foundation is good, the roof is good, and your HVAC systems are all in check, your water heaters. Those are the major things that are going to cost you the most money. And as you're writing a contract, you just want to make sure, hey, I'm okay with this stuff. Now that I know that I've done this pre-inspection, I know everything that my inspector found, I'm willing to still write on this property with no home inspection because I've already done it. I know what I have to do to get this property up to a position where I really want it. And so therefore you can start thinking about what price you want to go to. So do a pre-inspection if you're allowed to. If you can't, consider waiving it altogether. I know it's tough, but that's what's going to win you the deal. Third thing is naturally your appraisal. So appraisals are a little bit different. And if you're working with a local lender, another key, local lenders that know the market. If I'm calling a lender on a Saturday, they pick up their phone, that's a good lender. If you can't get them on a Saturday, they're probably not that good. If you're getting a 1-800 number that you got to call and you're talking to 5 different people to get to the main person, that's not who you want to be using. Think local lender. Think, can I get them on a Saturday? Yes, okay, because when are you writing these offers? Probably over the weekend. You need to get your ducks in a row before that time to get the lender letter together and ready. So use a local lender. But now getting into the appraisal. Once we have a price point set, say the property is worth $850,000. That's what it's priced at. We've got to figure out what we're going to pay for it. And if you talk to a lender, you can get what's called an appraisal waiver. An appraisal waiver is only good for those people that are top tier credit, putting a lot of money down, usually 20% or more. Then that lender's going to look at values in that neighborhood and say, all right, listen, I think, I put this in the system at $875,000 and it's not asking me to do an appraisal. So therefore, we can waive the appraisal up to $875,000. Huge advantage. You've just waived your finance, your appraisal, and your home inspection. That's what's going to win you the deal. Not everybody can waive an appraisal contingency. Waiving it entirely is the biggest thing that you have to do to win. So what if you can't? Then you have to start thinking about how much can I waive? What is my risk? What am I willing to risk in this deal? And it could be a $5,000 waiver of appraisal. And how that works is, say you write it $850,000 and you get the deal and the appraisal comes in at $845,000. You've waived $5,000 in value. That means I am willing to pay $850 even though the appraisal came in at $845. That means you have to pay that difference in cash. So before you do it, make sure you have the extra cash on top of your closing costs, on top of whatever you're putting down so that you can close the deal. Otherwise, you're going to be in default of the contract. Not a good thing. The next thing you want to think about is what price you want to go to. All right, so you can do all the research and look at all the comps that you want to, but at some point, you're just going to have to let that all go because there's always going to be somebody that just says, I don't care what it costs. I want the property. So you have to think about what is your top number that you're willing to walk away from. Like if you don't get it, I'm okay with it, right? $850,000, I'm willing to go to $900,000. So what we do is we write a contract and we put the sales price at $850, that's what they're asking, and then we put an escalation addendum. That escalation addendum works in a few ways. We're gonna put what increment that we're gonna increase by, usually $2,000, $3,000, somewhere right like that, up to a maximum amount that we're willing to go to. So think about all these other offers that are coming in. How high are they gonna go? You need to beat them. And say we go in at $850, we're willing to go to $900. They get a second offer at $875. We write in $2,000 increments. That means that we would win that offer at $877,000, $2,000 above the next best offer. At that point, when we're looking at an escalation addendum, we're not looking at all the other contingencies. That doesn't matter at this point. We're just looking to see what that maximum price would be. So there could be somebody in there that is not willing to waive their contingencies, but willing to go way up in price. You're willing to waive all your contingencies and go up in price as well. Yours is a way better contract and you're gonna win because of those zero contingencies, but it's also gonna factor in what that high price point is going to be. My suggestion always is think in odd numbers. I'm giving my secrets away. Don't think in even numbers. Everybody's thinking $900,000. Go to 901, 903, 907, something like that. Go to an odd number that is going to beat everybody out by $1,000, $2,000. Those are the little details that are going to win in price. But keep in mind, it's not always just the price. You could have a much lower value and waive all your contingencies and you're still going to win because no one wants those contingencies in their contract. All right, so we've gone over waiving of all your contingencies. Try to get rid of them all. Getting in there as soon as you can. Getting the home inspection done before you actually write that contract. The last thing I'll say is you need to be using a real estate agent, and that real estate agent needs to be communicating with the listing agent to find out the details of what the seller wants. You know, the seller could want a rent back. And if you give that seller that ease of, oh, okay, we can go to settlement and then I can stay in this house for 2 months so that I can find another house. That's giving that seller that ease, that all of this is making the seller feel more comfortable. And that's how you're gonna win it. Giving them whatever they need. If they want a quick settlement, make sure your lender can do that quick settlement. If they want a rent back, make sure you give them the rent back. And sometimes think about giving them a free rent back, which means 2 months that you're living there after we close, you're living rent free. I'll give it to you for free. These are the little things that you need to know how to do to win in an extreme seller's market. There's tons of other things that we do, but those are the major things. If you have any questions, anything like that, please leave them in the comments section below. Please hit the like button. I'd appreciate you subscribing. I'm Sean Battle. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.